When walking around campus, you may notice all the buildings have signs with names or either plaques explaining their significance, except for one. There is a random house in between the Gore Educational Complex and the Black Archives. Most students, including our group, have or had no idea what the building is. We chose the Sunshine Manor because we want to learn why it was important. To start, you have to go all the way back to the 1930s. FAMU was struck by the impact of the Great Depression in the 1930s. With the increase of student enrollment, the school building program logged that it was woefully behind. In fact, FAMU lacked the inadequate facilities to achieve a Class A ranking from the Southern Association of Colleges and Secondary Schools. In a letter from Fran McClellan, the chairman of the association, in order to receive a Class A ranking, there was a need for additional housing for students and an increase in library facilities. In 1934, President J.R. Ely called attention for FAMU's need for a science building, a library, and facilities, including a president's mansion, costing a total amount of $150,000. FAMU asked the Florida Board of Controls for half to two-thirds of the money, and they could secure the rest from outside sources. However, state officials did not give FAMU the money, forcing the HBCU to use $5,000 to repurpose and renovate the president's mansion. Because of the lack of money, President Lee had to call on the help of students from the Mechanical Arts program to build a president's mansion in 1934. The Gore family stepped on the hill, wanting to make tremendous changes and impacts to campus. His two main goals during his presidency were the recruitment of additional and well-qualified faculty and the improvement of the academic climate. As you can see in his inaugural speech, he had a 6-point plan which he accomplished for the most part. During his 18-year presidency, he accomplished the following. Dr. Gore established a School of Law and a School of Pharmacy. Both became fully accredited still during his presidency. Other schools that became fully accredited were the School of Engineering, Mechanical Arts, Graduate Agriculture, and the School of Nursing. Gore created a campus police force, a division of student welfare, a testing service bureau, and an office of research and grants. He also completed one of his main goals by upgrading the faculty. Before, only 12 of the 183 faculty held doctorate degrees. By the end of his presidency, 68 of the 207 faculty members earned a doctorate degree. Along with all these achievements, FAMU received several accolades and grants during his presidency. President Gore was one of the best presidents because of the great advancements he made to campus, but issues with students led him to resigning. The two main events that led to resigning of President Gore were his push for a merger and Martin Luther King riots. During his presidency, the state pushed for the idea of a merger between FAMU and Florida State. In 1965, the FAMU Law School closed and funds were transferred to FSU Law School due to a vote by state legislators. Like other things black, FAMU was viewed as inferior to Florida State. This was only a step in a plan to end FAMU or either demote FAMU into a junior college. Gore encouraged students and staff to ignore the rumors of a merger. Despite Gore's disapproval, students still took part in protests. Students even took part in protests in front of the Sunshine Manor. Pearl Gore then invited the students in to discuss their issues, and students and staff of FAMU became still super involved in the civil rights movement. Gore shied away from supporting the students because he considered himself as the president of the school, not a politician or activist. Another factor that led to riots and unrest on campus was the death of Martin Luther King. A FAMU history book described the riots as, by the evening, a group of students had gathered in a peaceful protest and began throwing rocks and bottles at cars passing and through near campus. There was riots the whole day, which grew and spread past campus. The next day, Gore tried to give a speech calming down the students, but they booed him. Campus was closed for a whole week. The threat of a merger boiled over, and his disapproval from students and staff led Gore to resigning. Gore's family was the last to live in the Sunshine Manor, and the Sunshine Manor was then transferred into a counseling center. During Dr. B.L. Perry's administration, the focus moved to expanding services and using new counseling techniques. Sunshine Manor counseling input was moved in 2017 to its new location in front of the FAMU Village. The migration of the counseling center was due to health issues caused by an aged building. However, Sunshine Manor still remains as a historical site, being the initial president's housing and the previous location of the counseling services for students.